So Dr. Chung, workplace and those that are still open, right? There's a lot of essential businesses that are still remaining open, clearly because they're essential and, we need their services. But how do those workplaces deal with possibly letting someone in that's actually visibly sick, that could be showing some symptoms, and clearly no one is a diagnostician and able to basically give that, okay, you look like you're coughing and it's not a seasonal allergy. But how can we minimize letting someone into our work environment? We had a recent example of someone came into a work lobby that looked really sick, and they wanted to get their security involved, and there was a lot of confusion on what those next steps really should look like. Do you have any guidance that you can share with us on that?
Sure. I mean, I think the first thing you need to do is perform a risk assessment and stress test it, right? You want to create various scenarios and who would respond and how that would respond. So you may get a sense that, hey, some of these folks will need some type of personal protective equipment, whether it's gloves, maybe it elevates to face mask because of other stuff, or even a respirator. So it depends on what your risk assessment tells you. But the second part of it is also trying to maybe limit the traffic within the area. So earlier we talked about the safe distance or safer distance. And so if you have, I don't know, crime scene tape that you can kind of cordon off about 10 feet from where the individual is, I understand this individual collapsed and needed 911. So then you would kind of cordon off so that you don't contaminate or cross-contaminate folks or cause an exposure to bystanders and things like that. The other part of it is a little bit of contact tracing. Ideally, if we can get some information about the individual when we call 911, that will help us kind of coordinate with the health department or even the fire department or the emergency department. We don't need to know everything about it. Ideally, we just need to say yay or nay because it may affect, for instance, the security folks that had to handle the situation or anybody else that walked by and tried to assist in the situation. So that type of information is very informative in making recommendations. Certainly you may initially, self-isolate and until we know, because that case sounds very suspicious for COVID-19, given what we have today. But it also creates a lot of anxiety. So if we can find out maybe it's not a case, then we can reduce the anxiety in these folks and able to, kind of have an exit strategy where they come back to the workplace and also interact with their family members.
Yeah, thank you. That is some helpful information there in terms of risk assessment. That's something that businesses and just everyone in general should be definitely aware of when they're venturing out of their home or their office space. Dr. Magari, do you have anything to add to that? Is there any measures that you've seen that work well or anything that you'd like to suggest?
No, I think that was a great answer. If I were going to add anything, it would be making sure that employees themselves are aware of the signs and symptoms so that they're doing their own little mini self-awareness, self-assessment each morning before they even get out the door.